Hello Spuds and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought that I would do the ever so anticipated story of Brendan and I's love story. After my last storytime video about my asshole of an ex, a lot of you have asked for me to do a more positive story, which is obviously my love story with my husband Brendan. I thought it was very fitting because today, it was 5 years ago today that Brendan asked me to be his girlfriend. So I thought, why not do this video and then it's somewhat relevant. I'm assuming this is probably going to be another long one, so go grab something to eat or drink or, I don't know, just something to do while you listen to this story because I hope that it's a good one. Cheyannejane! Going from where we left off in my last video about the worst relationship I ever had, there will be a link of that at the end of this video, so if you haven't already, go and check that out. I just come out of a horrible relationship. After about a month of being single and hating myself and absolutely being so down and depressed, I decided that it was time for me to get back on the wagon. So I joined up to a few dating sites, but the main one was one called Plenty of Fish. I don't even know if that's still around or if anyone knows about it, but there was no Tinder in those days, so it was either like Plenty of Fish or Oasis. I think there was one called, I know there was one called Oasis. What am I talking about? I was on it all the time. For some reason Brendan's profile just, it stuck out at me. It was like I just need to talk to this person, and after reading through his like description, he was talking about how he's a vegetarian and talking about how he likes fish, as in, you know, like as a hobby, like fish keeping, and none of those things even remotely relate to me at all, but something about this profile just made me go, I have to talk to this guy. I stalked that profile for quite a while until I finally got the courage to write something. I'm not even sure what I wrote, but it was something really stupid. It took me like at least a week or something to actually send it because I really didn't want to mess it up. Like, I just had this, I was drawn to this profile. Not so much that I wasn't seeing people on the side though, because I was a little bit of a slut. Not so much a slut, like I wasn't like banging everyone all the time, but I was seeing other people while I was thinking about this guy. I'm a classic. Anyway, so I finally got to messaging Brendan, and I don't know what I said. I probably said, hey, I like your profile, something generic like that. So after I sent away that message, it wasn't like a chat thing, it was like emails that you sent to each other. You didn't really have a chat option. And then when I finally got a notification saying that he replied, oh my god, I was so nervous. I opened it up, and one of the first lines was like, I hope you're just looking for friendship because I am in a relationship with Beck. Her name was Beck. For some reason I thought of this Beck, which was a very generic name, like everyone's named Beck. I just thought I would ask him, just out of the blue, does this girl have a son by any chance? To which he replied yes, and the son's name. Now the reason I asked this was because, going back to my previous relationship, there was this girl who was constantly popping up in the messages of my ex, and her name was Beck, and she had a son, and lo and behold, this Beck that Brendan was dating happened to be the same girl that my ex was cheating on me with. So I was determined to break that relationship up. I didn't necessarily want to break the relationship up, he had to know what this girl was like. But at the same time, I just was so drawn to him that I just had to get to know him better. Even though he had just said, you know, I'm going to be deactivating this account, I just hadn't got around to it. I got the email notification, just replying to you because, to be nice sort of thing. I was so heartbroken though. I was like so sad because he was in a relationship. I'd missed out. I'd missed my chance. And to make things worse, it was with this girl that I just... my ex was cheating on me with her. And she had done this to so many other people. Turns out that girl also used to work at the place I was working at the time. And she also had a whole lot of other problems with other people that I knew. She was very well known, and she was also like 7 months pregnant with someone else's child while she was dating Brendan. So I was it's a lot to take in, I know. I replied to the email and we were replying back and forth for ages, and then I ended up adding him on Facebook. And the first message he sent me was, oh my god, stalker. And it made me feel so, oh my god, I was so nervous because I had had like such bad luck with men and I just didn't want to fuck this one up. Like, I knew he was with a girlfriend and I was still pursuing this. I was not giving up, hey. So we ended up being Facebook friends, and then we got each other's phone numbers and we were just like texting as friends. I think he thought it was just an innocent friendship thing, whereas I had other motives. Fast forward to like a few weeks later, we'd been talking back and forth a lot, and this Beck girl ended up going on like a trip away to see her ex, who is obviously the father of her like toddler at the time, and Brendan wasn't allowed to go with them or something. Anyway, so he was alone and sad, and he wanted to see the new Batman movie, and I just jumped straight on that and I was like, yep, I'll go with you. For me, this was counted as our first date because the first time we'd met each other in person, and I was so nervous. I came out the front and I snuck around his car to his driver's side, and I literally went boom to scare the shit out of him. I thought that was a really good icebreaker. I think that's what was going through my head at the time, but he's told me since that he always will remember the first time that we met for that reason. So I don't know why. I would never have done that usually, but for some reason I thought that I would. Anyway, so when I saw Brendan in person, it was like, oh my god, the biggest crush ever. He was just everything I wanted in a man. He had long, curly, luscious, thick hair and, you know, facial hair, and he was a bit chubby and just visually pleasing to my eye. And then we went to the movie, and the whole time he was on his phone. He was not on social media, he was not texting other people. He was looking up different types of fish for an upcoming, like a fish tank that he was planning on making. And I'm looking over and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, I thought he was talking to his girlfriend. Nope. Looking up pictures of fish. On the way home, I was talking to him about Beck and sort of hinting that I kind of know her a bit and I've heard stories, but trying not to sound like a conniving bitch or anything like what I was being at the time. So he was just saying, like, I've heard some things about her too, but I don't go by gossip, I go by personal experience and stuff. At the time, that infuriated me because I'm like, you need to know what this stupid girl is like so you can break up with her and then we can live happily ever after. But I planted the seed into his head as to what she was like. I was trying to sound like a good friend, like trying to console him a bit because he was telling me about how she was off with her ex and he hasn't heard from her in a few days and he was getting worried. In my head, I'm like, yeah. But to him, I was like, well, if you ever need to talk about anything, you know, I'm here for you. I'm pretty sure that Beck cheated on him while, you know, they were on that trip or whatever, and they kind of went on a break. And I remember distinctively getting the text message from Brendan saying, I think I just got dumped. On the inside, I'm like, yes! Like, I think I jumped up in the air, jumped for joy. I was so excited. But to him, of course, I was being a shoulder to lean on, telling him, you know, do you want to go and do something together? I was just trying to be a nice friend, when really I was trying to get in on that. Anyway, fast forward, I don't know how much longer after that this was, but this girl used to do karaoke at an Irish pub a lot. I found out that she was going to this karaoke night and I wanted to go too. He actually went with Beck and I met them there with this other girl who also hated Beck because she'd had problems with her in the past as well. We were trying to be bitchy, you know, we got really drunk and, you know, we were going to do the whole, he's my man, you know, type thing. And I don't know what we were planning to do. But anyway, we rock up and Brendan, I feel so sorry for him because he was kind of torn between me and Beck. Like, me and Brendan would be talking and then Beck would be like, come here, Brendan. Like, this is like an 8-month pregnant woman getting up on stage, singing karaoke, then going out the back and smoking like durries all night. So she was, you know, stand-up girl. The drunker I got, the more I was talking to Brendan about how I felt about him. It ended up having me and Brendan sitting in the middle of this pub, like crying and like just, you know, your stupid drunken talks, and I was crying on his shoulder and he was crying because of how I felt, and he was saying that he kind of had feelings for me, but you know, I think he felt bad because he was sort of technically still with this other chick, but not really. Anyway, so while we're sitting there having a cry on each other's shoulders and hugging, Beck walks up in between us and says to me, you know what, bitch, you can have him. And I was like, fuck yeah, thanks, bitch. And then she stormed off, like being super dramatic. As the night went on, I actually got up and sung a song, knowing full well that she was there, and I sang that Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne, you know, hey, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend, no way, I think you need a new one. And then after that I dragged Brendan up on stage and we also did some karaoke together and it was terrible. I think I still have the video somewhere, so if I do, I will give you a little clip now. It is so cringy and terrible, but, you know, why not? I was very drunk. Very drunk. Anyway, as the night went on, I ended up having to go home. Brendan and I decided we were going to go back to my place, and so he got in the car. He hadn't been drinking, by the way, and we both got to my house. When we pulled up into the driveway, though, he got a phone call from Beck saying that she was stranded at this pub. Her lift had left without her, and she pretty much demanded that Brendan come and pick her up and take her home. And Brendan, being the most amazing man ever, couldn't leave a heavily pregnant woman stranded at a pub. Meanwhile, she lived on the other side of town. So Brendan wasn't sure if he'd have enough petrol to go and get her, take her home, and then come all the way back to my place. But he said he was going to try and do that. So I went home all excited for my night, and I was like, oh well, this is good. I can, you know, refresh myself and get ready and probably shave bits and make myself look good, I don't know, for when he finally arrived. The next minute, I get a phone call from an unknown number, which was Beck's number, and it was Brendan telling me that he didn't have enough petrol to get back to my house, so he had to stay there the night at her house. I was heartbroken. He'd chosen her over me. I was so upset. This is what was going through my head at the time. I was living with my mother at the time, and I hopped into bed with Mum and I was crying, and we were saying how much of an asshole he is and how much we hate men and all this stuff. Anyway, I find out that he ended up sleeping with her that night. He woke up that morning and instantly regretted it. It's like he woke up and he's like, I've made a huge mistake. Anyway, by the time he got home to his house, he ended up ringing me and saying, do you want to go out to lunch today? Of course, I forgave him and I went there, and we went and had lunch, and he got like food stuck in his throat and had to run off and vomit. So many fun memories. We weren't really seeing each other. We hadn't kissed or anything yet. We were just kind of being friends. And then we started watching Game of Thrones together. And that's when everything started getting pretty interesting. So one night Brendan asked me if there was any TV shows I hadn't seen. And he was telling me that there's this show called Game of Thrones. And he's got the first season. Do we want to watch it? And I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't know what this shit is, but I'll watch it with you, come on over. And, you know, it was a typical, it's so cold, let's put the blanket on each other and share the blanket together. And, oh no, zip. Was that your zipper going down? Is that my hand in your pants? So, it's safe to say that the whole first season of Game of Thrones, I don't remember any of it. There were a lot of other times when I would call him up late at night and he would come to my house. He actually left his sister's engagement party early so he could come over and hang out at my house. Also, one of these Game of Thrones nights was we had our first kiss. He kind of turned to me and looked me in the face, and I'm like really awkward in those situations. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And he like took off my glasses and kissed me, and my heart filled like as soon as it happened, and it was like a really good kiss. I'll remember that first kiss for the rest of my life. It was so good. Everything was just perfect, and it was really romantic and cute. So then after that we became, you know, just hanging out, bit of friends with benefits deal going on, which I had happened to me a lot, and it started getting me down a bit. I thought, oh no, what have I done? I've settled for friends with benefits and stuff. But then one night on the 28th of August, Brendan and I were having fun of the naked in bed variety that he stopped doing what he was doing and said to me, will you be my girlfriend? And I like nearly cried, and I said, yes, I'm going to be the best girlfriend you've ever had. Oh my god, I was so fucking lame. But yeah, that's how we started dating. I think I'll leave the story there. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to know the rest of the story, like the engagement and all that kind of stuff, then please leave a comment down below. You can add me on social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm pretty active on all those, and Snapchat of course. So if you are interested in any of that, then please check out the links below, and subscribe if you're new here, because I make videos every Monday and you'll get a notification letting you know when I have uploaded. So please subscribe if you're new, that'd be great. And with that, I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya!
Hey, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend, no way, I think I need a new one. Hey, you, there's a girlfriend.